Here we go. We're going to change some lives today.
Here we go. It's telling us we're live. So I think this is wonderful. Jenny, we do a lot of things together. In fact, we've been seeing each other more than we've seen our husbands probably.
Yes, that is true.
It is
You're
true.
a beautiful person to hang out with on a daily basis, Debbie. I will say that.
I adore hanging with you as well. But today kind of feels special to me because this is number one, our first time of actually kind of doing the hot seats lives and live streaming them out to everybody in LinkedIn and YouTube land to really kind of get a taste. We do a lot of coaching or let's say mentoring and teaching and facilitating, but I don't know if people see us in action as much as this opportunity will be. So I love that we have people coming already. I think this is super exciting. Jenny, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, and then we'll talk together a little bit about why we're doing this today.
Sure. Thank you, Debbie. So after I introduce myself, I'll make sure you have time as well. But if you're just catching us, hello, everybody. As you can see, my name is Jenny Reyes. I've had a company called Your Brand Story for over about 2 decades now. And my clients have been the ones that have named me or given me this title called Strategic Brand Integrator. So I've actually been in the branding world and space pretty much all of the time that I've started working, maybe. And I mean, and that's kind of where my interests have lied. Started in corporate, left after I was part of the team that launched Dove's campaign for Real Beauty. And I know Debbie always smiles when I say that. And that's when Your Brand Story began to exist. And so the idea was that we would provide, in Your Brand Story, we would provide the extra support that you needed to bring your vision to life in the manner and expression and channels that your audience, your target audience would accept and resonate with, right? And so that was the intention way back when. It still is right now. It's somehow evolved, of course, with COVID and the new channels and social media. But in essence, it's still about developing and building and strengthening and aligning your brand to who you are, what you do, and how that's received. And so that's pretty much how I also found Debbie. And Debbie is a leadership visibility strategist, as you can see, and the founder of Be Extraordinary Women's Network, among other things. Like, I think Be Extraordinary Women's Network is now, I want to say, almost 800 strong is a community. But Debbie, I'll let you talk more about yourself as well. So you can introduce yourself.
Thanks, Jenny. So I love hearing people's stories of how they got into the work they're doing. And then, of course, I love hearing the passion that they have for that work. It never ceases to amaze me when we lead with passion, how people stand up and pay attention. It's just so much more. So my name is Debbie Prediger. I am the founder of Empowering You Community and the Be Extraordinary Women's Network, which Jenny just mentioned is just about 800 strong. And we started in January. What I am always about is building community and real community where you feel seen and heard and valued and safe to show up as the true you. And so that is, my mission. And then my vehicles in which I do that are in many different ways. And I love strategy. I'm part of Dean Graziosi's Edge Mastermind, where we are learning from the best of the best in marketing and what's working and what isn't. And Jenny just said it, trends are changing. This is something you could be doing for a long time and still get to a certain point and go, I'm not growing. Nobody's seeing me. Nobody's buying my stuff. It's not converting. What am I doing wrong? And it doesn't necessarily mean you're doing anything wrong, but there's the small tweaks that can change everything for you. And Jenny and I think, are very good at finding those small tweaks and then really, really hearing and listening to our clients so that we can really, as I often say, I never want you to be the best kept secret. There is a reason that you feel so passionate about the work that you do. I want to pull that out of you. And then Jenny, with doing the brand integration, is helping making sure that we're congruent across all of our brands. I'll throw my hand up in the air right now and say, I needed Jenny badly. Multi-passionate, multi-talented person could really get lost in all of the things. I needed to find somebody that could understand that passion and that purpose in a way that they heard me, right? I've spent a lot of money on coaches.
Mm-hmm. I've spent a lot of money on coaches too.
Yeah. I needed somebody that heard the depth of my passion and my purpose. And that was Jenny. So today, Jenny, I think I didn't miss anything, but I would love to just tell us why we're here today, because we've been doing these lives. So what's different about today? Do you want to lead that one?
I would. So Debbie, I mean, you and I, one of our foundational values, which is why our brands align as well, is collaboration. And we believe in the power of collaborative leadership, and being able to bring both our zones of genius together to be able to support other people through it, right? And that's how we've come up with what we call the Leadership Momentum Accelerator. And it's actually something that we've taken a group of people through before. We're going to do it again. And, you know, some of the things that we've always said, like Debbie, you said, you don't ever want to be the best kept secret. Well, people hear about what we've done, but don't necessarily know how it is that we do it. And so today, even as we've gone live, you know, I think 3 weeks in a row now, this is a record for me. So Debbie is very good at pushing people out of their comfort zones to grow. And I will be very grateful for you, Debbie, because I don't think I've done as many lives as I have until I started, you know, collaborating with you. So thank you for that. You know, and so we have 2 people who have raised their hand, taken action, have said yes to being on the hot seat. Like we just put them, maybe it's a spotlight, it's a shine light, because Debbie likes to shine light on other people so that they shine brighter. And so, yeah, I think we will rebrand that whole thing. It's not a hot seat, it's a shiny light. Yeah. So that's what we wanted to do today, so that people can see and experience what it is that we would do inside our 12-week accelerator. It really is, I want to say, an accelerator, because from when we start to when we finish, the feedback we've gotten was that it was very, very much help in their business. In fact, the ones that have gone through it have actually seen a shift in the number of clients that they've taken on, the type of people that they are working with now. And so it's very, very fulfilling and heartwarming to know and hear that there's a difference in their lives, with just some small tweaks here and there in the support that we offer. So this is just a taste. It's like a tasting, you know, we were talking about, I keep referring to food these days. There's something about it. We're not giving you the whole buffet. It's just a little tasting menu. And then if you are interested, then, you know, there's a link that we'll drop later for an application inside the accelerator. So I hope I did that justice, Debbie.
You did it beautifully. I think it's time to bring these ladies to the stage. Ladies, are you ready?
Yeah, there we go.
Well, I want to just say a huge thank you to both of you for, number one, watching us live. You're both in the comments, whether you could catch us live or the replays. And because people were watching us live and engaging, we give them an application so they could apply to be in the Shine Light. And so that was really important for us, that you trusted us enough to say yes, because this isn't easy. And I told you, I promised to make this really easy on you, because this is exactly how we treat people once you're in our accelerator and our circle. These are the same questions. And we don't have them all planned out. We listen with our ears and our hearts so that we can pull the best out of you. So I want to introduce these 2 women. We have Carmen Walsh, and she is just a beautiful soul that, again, we met in another community, and I have watched her blossom and heal. And my Shine framework, the H stands for healing. And I know that if somebody's been witnessing my story, they've watched me heal. And I see myself in Carmen and Carmen in each other. And so it's been such a beautiful journey. I'm going to let you introduce yourself, Carmen, if you want to come off of mute and just say hi and tell us who you are and where you're from.
Sure. Yeah, my name's Carmen Walsh, and I live in South Central Pennsylvania. Actually in the middle of like Amish countryside at this point, which is something very different. And yeah, I have definitely been on a healing journey, especially the last 7-ish years. And I am recently married. That was the biggest hard part of my life, was relationships. And so that's where I ended up focusing a lot of the healing work. And I feel very good and blessed in that arena now, and leaning into being who I am meant to be at this point, right? I feel like I have this really stable foundation now, and I'm allowing myself to be who I am and to express that how I'm meant to. And so playing with what that looks like. And I'm writing a book, which I've wanted to do for many, many years, and doing different things with art and, you know, getting outside more, which are all things that I loved doing as a child. So yeah, it's an exciting time of life.
Oh my goodness, it is. It's so beautiful to watch you really lean into all of this. Thank you for being here with us, Carmen. And then there's Denise. Now, Denise is somebody, again, I met in another community, but we've been in many communities together since that time. I'll let Denise talk about whichever one she wants to, or any of them, if that's a choice. But what I really want to speak to about Denise, number one, can you see all the artwork and the different things that she's got behind her? Like, she's a very creative soul. And there is, and so is Carmen, which we didn't mention, but she did. There is light that's trying to burst from both of these women. Like, literally, I can just see it. And as you guys, as a photographer, you see the light in someone's eyes light up. You can't fake that. It doesn't matter how big they smile. If their eyes don't light up, there isn't light within. And so when we recognize that, we amplify it. I believe Denise is here to amplify other people's light. And so it's beautiful to witness. Denise, why don't you come off of mute and just share a little bit about yourself?
Thank you first for that introduction and for inviting me here, and just for everything. And I'll start with where I met and saw all of you incredible souls for the very first time. And that was in Maya Kamarota's world. I'm all of you, all of the coaches that are in my life now today. And my healing journey. Well, I'm going to start with my age. I am 61 years young and getting younger and better every day. I tell everybody who'll listen to me that I'm aging in reverse. They think what they want, but that's what I know. Anyway, I'm a mom. I'm a wife. I'm a teacher. And that's what I want to do. This Shine community is going to help me to shine that light, to teach more people than the children I already do. And I love those children. They're special children. That's what I'm going to call them, because they are. But my healing journey really started in my remembrance of who I am a few years ago, when I had to walk my parents on their final journeys. And I know I'm meant to shine my light some way, shape, form in that arena. And I'm just so grateful to be here and shine with you and for you and for everyone. And I just wish I had bigger words to express all of it. All of it. Thank you.
You're so welcome. Jenny, I feel like you have something to add to that.
I believe our words are always what they're meant to be, right? And so we're grateful for Carmen and Denise for you both being here, and I'm sure everybody will learn and get something from what it is that we'll be sharing today. So we're so happy. We're so happy that you're here.
Thank you.
Yeah, we really are. Okay, well, I'm going to keep Carmen on stage with us, and I'm going to pop you back down into the green room. Please forgive me if I do something horrible.
I don't think that's possible, Debbie.
I've taken myself out of the room before, so.
You know that technology is magic, and as we've witnessed before, I'm like, okay, I'm going here, and you're like, where did Jenny go? What happened to her? I said, oops, I pressed the wrong button.
I love it. So number one, you can see the way that we teach and facilitate is fun, always. If we weren't having fun, we wouldn't be doing what we're here to do. So today, earlier, we were inside of the roundtable discussion for the Be Extraordinary Women's Network, and our conversation was around self-discovery, which is so fitting because it's such a foundational pillar to what Jenny and I teach. But I think everybody mentioned the word play and fun and remembering what it was like to be an innocent child without all of the conditioning. And so really that's what we're also here doing, is pulling back the layers so that we can get to the truest essence of you and find out what you're truly passionate about. Maybe a little bit of what you went through so that we can discover a piece of that too. But these are the eyes and the ears and the inner knowing that we pull out of you so that we can really say, I think there's more here. I think it's deeper than what you're allowing yourself to go here. And it's my way, Jenny's way of really saying what the world says is niche down. I believe it's a natural way to niche down, is go deeper, trust yourself more. So Jenny, I'm going to kind of pop out of here. You asked me if you want me to pop back in. I don't know if I can actually leave the stage.
Well, yeah, no, I think just stay where you are.
But I'm going to mute myself because this is your zone of genius with this brand audit and really making sure that you're congruent across. And I want to give you, you the stage for that.
Well, I was about to say we're going to give Carmen the stage. Carmen, I feel like you let us know about, where you're at right now. And that's pretty much how I always start. It's like, okay, so tell me about yourself, where you're at, what you're doing, and potentially where you want to be, so that we can go from there. So thank you, Debbie, but we'll give Carmen the stage, really. And if you see me looking down, it's because I'm writing stuff that's coming to me. And so that's pretty much how so if I'm not looking here, it's not because I'm not paying attention. I'm writing. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead, Carmen.
Okay. So, like I said, I'm writing a book.
Yeah.
And that is a self-love memoir. That's how I'm phrasing it. Mm-hmm. And I'm taking that as an opportunity to actually get to know myself better, to appreciate what I've come through, what I've learned from it, and be able to share those lessons without being like, here are the lessons I learned, right? Mm-hmm. I want to take people on the journey with me. Mm-hmm. And have them experience it, have them feel it, because I feel like that's so much more impactful. Mm-hmm. And it also reminds me of, like, I love novels, and why do I love novels? Because I love the experience of going on the journey with the character.
Yeah.
You care about the character, you care what happens to him, you get upset at the people that hurt him, like all the things,
Yeah.
and like I mean, there's sometimes I get done a book and I'm like, I don't want the book to end. Like, I really like these people. I want to spend more time with them, Yeah. And I just, that's my current main focus right now. But I will say in the past, which is why my Instagram looks the way it does, I sold my photography. Okay. And I say in the past because it was a huge initiative at one point. Like 12 years ago, I started selling my photography art. And I did that for a number of years. And I honestly was so uncomfortable talking about my own art that I started promoting other people's art. Mm-hmm. And that was a good thing, right? I mean, I did help promote other artists in the area and stuff. But I ended up running myself ragged and so I kind of left that behind, and I just restarted that last year. I put together a new website. I started promoting on social media and all the things. And I'm not selling art. Like, it's not happening. Like, I'm doing
Okay.
the stuff, I'm putting it out there. I even have a local place where I have a small area, like a wall space where I have my things. And it's really not happening. I'm feeling like that's a side thing for me.
Okay.
Like, that's not my main thing.
Yeah. When you say it's not happening, it's because you're not lighting up when you sell it, or it's not.
I mean, I love it. Because I feel like what my art, and I've done a lot of thinking about this now, because I used to not really believe it was art, because I'm like, it's just a picture of what's there. Like, how is this art? You know? And I've gotten to the point where I believe that what it is for me anyway is my appreciation of the world we've been given.
Okay.
You know, it's me in the awe and wonder of life.
Okay.
And I use it as a reminder, right? That's why I have art all over my walls, is because it reminds me of the magic and the awe and the wonder of the life we get to live, which puts me in a state of gratitude, which it fuels that whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how I feel about it. I've tried to share that message a little bit, but again, it's like, I don't think I fit in the local place where I'm at. It's more like decor and jewelry and really cool wood stuff. But it doesn't, it's probably not a fit, which is what I'm guessing. But I, like I said, the art feels like it's an adjunct to my main message.
Well, what I was thinking of as you were talking was that a picture paints 1,000 words. And, you know, it's the story that you see. Because I just saw your post today about the red wall and there's just so much depth and story in it, which I believe is something that, you know, you bring naturally to any photo or any experience. So it's like you're creating the experience around it because it's more than just a photo, if that makes sense. So maybe that's one thing. Debbie, you were nodding, and I didn't mean to interrupt you, Carmen. I was like, oh, writing it down. But
no, I think it's good, because I think we want to ask some clarifying questions around some of what you just shared. But I feel the same thing, Carmen. Like, your photography and creativity is what helped you thrive. It's a tool that you use on a daily basis to see the world from a different place. And because of that, it doesn't necessarily mean that the thing you created, the piece, the photograph, is the thing you're meant to sell. There's many ways in which to earn money off of that type of joy that you get. And what Jenny's just spoke about is it's the experience. You do take people down an experience. And there is other ways in which you express yourself that also takes people down an experience. So that's where my mind's going, is if we're actually looking for an income path, I want to ask you, what would you love? Not what do you think is possible to earn an income from, but if you could earn an income or a living or a lifestyle from what you want to do, what would it be?
Yeah, I've been thinking about that a lot lately, and I love sharing my stories. Like, it's surprising, honestly, that I really do love writing my stories and actually just sharing my thoughts. And it shouldn't be surprising, because I used to have a blog and I used to just go deep on stuff. And, you know, I really enjoy it. And I think I had so much of my life where that was like, who are you? Right? Like, the people around me weren't going deep with me. Right. And I really want to lean into absolutely just loving my life. Like, having fun, creating things, creating experiences, like taking people hiking, beautiful views, beautiful food, like all the things. Like I want people to really love their lives. Like I feel like I spent so many years and I see so many people all over, my friends, my family, people I don't know. Like it's like this drudgery. Like life is something to get through. And I'm so passionate now that that's not the point. Like we are not meant to be like, oh, like really another day. Really? Just one more day until the weekend. And then I'm going to do what? Like it drives me crazy now. And I want people to really see themselves as worthy, as deserving of experiences where they just get to love who they are, love what they're doing, and for me personally, my journey has been such that I didn't know who I was really. I didn't know what lit me up. I didn't even start thinking about that until 2018. I mean, really. I got to a point I was like, okay, I got a business going, I'm going to, and I actually did really well with a writing and editing business, and I hated most of it. And I was exhausted, and I was like, okay, it's up to me. I got to figure out what would make me happy. And I don't want other people to waste that much time, because you don't know how much time you have, and I'm just really passionate that I want people to know who they are. And like I said, writing my book, that's part of that for me. I feel like it's super powerful to look back and write my stories and think about them from my perspective now, and go, oh, wow, like you're right. This is who I am. This is what I've come through. This is what I've learned. This is who I always was and then forgot about, and lean into the things that, have always lit me up, even when I avoided them for 40 years, I want more people to have that kind of just like want to suck the juice out of life. Right.
Yeah.
I just want that for myself and for as many people as I can take with me.
Yeah. Well, I was pulling up your site and your Instagram and the whole live, love, savor life, which is what you've been going around sharing, which I mean, you're still pretty much your essence. I did write down there's some depth and simplicity that I feel is something that you bring when you're around people, because I think you can sit in a room and sit in a group and then ask a question and everybody goes, oh yeah. And it's a very simple question, but it gets you to go deeper and to have that, tap into that passion, which we all have. It's probably dormant for several of us, some of us because we've just numbed ourselves. But I think it's that kind of a guidance into, it doesn't have to be extravagant. It could be as simple as a picture. It could be as simple as a hike. It could be as simple as there's a story here that's pulled out of you, so that you can savor that moment and that you can actually like enjoy that experience, if that kind of resonates with the people you're looking to work with, right? So that's something that came up for me too. And then, of course, all the passion and the presence of it being there, right? So that's kind of what came up for me. I don't know, Debbie looks like she's nodding too.
Oh, I think it's exactly the same thing, Jenny. I would just love, you said you went back to her website and her Instagram and her socials. Did you see any opportunity to get more clear so people understood? Because I mean, I understand right now that, Carmen, you're switching. You don't actually have an offer that is feeling like it's your offer making money. Because let's get real here. If we're actually running a business, we're here to convert and to earn money from it. Yeah. So at this point, it feels to me, and I want Jenny to chime in on this, is that it feels like it's a beautiful expression of who you are without actually asking so that you can convert it into cash. There's no actual call to action.
Right.
Yeah, Jenny, why don't you go deeper into what opportunities you have there?
I mean, and that's yeah. I mean, if I look at the website, it's, you know, I feel like, is there a way for them to just click and connect, right? Or they might not be sure of it, but there's a lot that says, like, you're here to guide them so that they can live and love and savor life. I mean, those are your words that, you know, and it could be through art, it could be through a feeling, but is there just a way for them to just connect with you? Because they may not necessarily know what they need or what they want at the moment.
Yeah.
Especially if you think about the target audience who might be pretty numb still, right?
Yes.
Somebody who's just like, no, I just have to go through this day. And here you are kind of being a mirror for them. And they're like, what is she having that I haven't had yet? But there's still like a tentative step. So maybe just like a way to connect with Carmen, and then you can either it's through art, it's through music. I know you did music for a while too, and it's like, here's a creative expression, or a peek at. I think you have a challenge going.
I do. Yeah, I was going to mention that. I wanted to just dip my toe in the water and, you know, try something new. And so starting on Tuesday, we're actually, for the month of September, I called it the Beauty Focus Challenge.
Okay.
And it's really, and I created a little community online and stuff so people can post their pictures. So really they're taking a picture every day, and I'm going to give them some different prompts so they don't send me a flower every single day. Because that's what I would do, right?
I'm like, what's pretty? Okay, here.
Yeah, exactly. But to get people in the habit of looking for the good, right? Because for me, that was such a powerful shift when I started focusing on what's good here rather than what can be improved, because that was my focus before.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, so I started that, like I said, that goes for the month of September. And I just thought, you know, I'm going to play with this. I'm going to see what comes of it, you know, how people respond to it, how I like it, you know, and just use that as a testing thing. I also am definitely going to do a podcast, and I think that's perfect for me. You know, just to be able to go and share probably like short episodes, and then maybe do some with guests too. But I'm excited about that. But yeah, I think sharing my stories and my struggle up to this point is exactly what you were saying. It's how do I reach the people I need to reach, because they don't even know there's possibility yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They think that the way they're living is the way they have to live.
Right. Right.
And so, and for me, that's, I'm thinking in particular, like women over 40, because I feel like that's where you're starting to maybe go, is this it?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, well, one, we know it's just being who you are and showing up every day in that congruency and that alignment, right? And having that message of, I think you don't need to look far. It's as simple as a flower. I saw Magda saying she loves flowers. So it's as simple as what's in my backyard or what's in front of me, or a hike, and I see some of that already in your Instagram. And I think it might just be a stronger, like, well, if you're looking for what it is that I'm, you know, again, these are not the words. We probably would need some time to kind of wordsmith it. But essentially, it's like, if you want what I have, then like hit me up, you know, send me a message, or like a stronger call to say, I'm here to talk. If you want to, we can schedule something. So that's one. And then the other one is, of course, the people that are around you. Is like, do you know somebody? Do you know somebody who you see is struggling? They may not necessarily realize it, but, you know, even to just go and look at a piece of art, right? And so what does that mean? What does that evoke? Those types of questions. I think you're very natural at that, where you're trying to bring that out. And so having them say, like, bring a friend, so that you're introduced to more people. And I mean, potentially doing just some local things, like, if you have a gathering in your garden, or you're saying, I'm going for a hike, who else wants to join me? Just kind of starting that way would be a way for people to start to see. Because I do remember going on a hike with somebody that we met in a community, and like at every point there was a question. And I was like, I've never been on a hike like this before. I came back, I was like, my gosh, my soul felt so nourished, because it was like, we stop, we look, and it's like, what do you notice? And all these questions would come out, and then there was music, and I said, wow, I just thought a hike was a hike. But again, it's that depth and simplicity, that you're able to pull stuff out just by a small little piece that is, in your area. So that might just be one way to like start, if that answers your question.
Yeah. I think so.
I think that this is perfect, Jenny. What we just showcased is that it's just the little tweaks, right?
Mm-hmm.
There is an opportunity for a stronger call to action. And that is part of the growth too. But the other thing that I want everybody to actually really pay attention to is that experience sells more than a service. Don't dilute that you love building out experiences. You love to bring them in. You love to take them deeper. You love them to have a transformation, an aha moment. People are craving that. So creating online experiences, creating in-person meetups, as Jenny said, and to me that feels like super simple, because go to the photography websites where you can say, hey, if you're in Puerto Vallarta, I'll take you out for an experience. What are they charging? About $190 an hour. So that gives you that, if I combine the writing, the journaling, the music, the photography, all the things in an experience, this is what I would expect to ask for. And it's more, I mean, you're way more in depth than somebody that's taking somebody out on what I just said, but it gives you a base point to say, I'm absolutely worth this. And I will get them. I can build out a referral business doing something like this, because the depth that I'll take them through.
Yeah. Well, and I think the nice thing about it, Carmen, right now is you said you were dipping your toes. So it's not well, come to me. And the minute I come to you, you're like, well, here's what I'm selling you, right? And that just all of a sudden takes all the passion and the mystery and the experience away. It's a genuine connection. Let's get to know each other. Let me give you something that I know has worked for me. Try it. And let me, and let's just see where this goes. And some people will be like, well, thank you for this one experience. I'm so grateful. And then you'll never hear from them again. And there will be people that are like, well, I do want more. And it's okay. I need you in my life. And how do I keep you there for that good energetic exchange? Right. And so I think that's what some people just have to remember if they're listening. I mean, if I think of the people listening live, it's like, you're not having a more powerful call to action because you're selling upfront. You're really making that connection. And I think that's what will build it for the long term, instead of the short term of like, I'm over here, come, and I have something that's really cheap to get. It just doesn't feel as natural or as authentic, if we're being honest. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Carmen, I'm really looking forward to your challenge. So please come back into these lives and drop your challenge, because what that's also doing, and you intuitively knew it, is getting in front of more people and getting them to feel you and your guidance and your mentorship and the depth in which you'll take them just by your prompts. So thank you so much for being here. We can't wait to hear your aha moments. I've seen you taking notes as well. But yeah, it's truly been a gift to have you here, and we're going to bring Denise up.
Thank you.
I hope that was helpful. I was going to ask her, I was like, was that helpful?
Yeah, I know. I hear you.
Chat. It's okay.
I hear you. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Hi,
Carmen can
Denise.
hear us.
Hello. Hello.
Well, what did you get out of what we just shared with Carmen?
I think that's amazing. I mean, just like you said, the depth is in the simplicity. That was like, wow. All of it was valuable to me. I'm not quite there, but I will be.
No, I think that, even Jenny and I, we are also learning as we do this stuff because, and that's also the reason that I believe in collaboration where, I can do the thing and Jenny can do the thing, but why not do it together so that we can really amplify all this? And it's an extra set of ears and eyes as well. So sometimes you miss something. There was a lot. I got a lot of notes from her, but I would love to just ask you to just share a little bit about where you're at too. We don't need the long version. It's more like, I've tried this lights me up, this I've done, but I feel like that's done. What Carmen kind of did there took us through a lot of possibilities, and we'd love to hear that from you as well.
Okay. Where I am right now, after guiding my parents through their end stages, that's when I knew I was meant to do something more with my life than what I'm doing. I actually was numb prior to that point. I just basically was like a robot going through the motions, living day to day. I was going through the motions is what I was doing. My nickname was a stress ball. That was what everybody in my family called me. That's what I was. Anxiety. I always was worst case scenario. I was optimistic, but whatever. But things changed then for me. Things changed. I realized that's not who I am. I have to find my voice. That's what I have to do. That's what I started. I started in, I went to Born for This, and that's when things started. When I started remembering I'm meant for more. I am a teacher right now, like full time. That's what I do. I'm a registered behavior tech as of the past couple of years, based on an invitation from a supervisor at work to go into this special education program that was brand new to our school. And I absolutely love that. But I'm also a Reiki master and Joy Lee ambassador. And I know I've been trying to figure out what exactly I want to do. I thought I knew what I wanted to do based on guidance from other people. And I tried that, and it's not what I want to do. It's not all that I want to do. I want to do. And what's so funny was, like, last night, after I had a call with Magda, who's my functional nutritionist, that has been part of my journey for the past year and a half, and that has been enlightening. I'm writing a book with her, and I'm writing another book with Shika. I love to write. I was told long ago I'm not a writer, and I believed it until now. Now people are telling me explore that, because you have an ability to do that. I love
up until now. You're not
up until now, right? And I love
part of you up until now. I had to interrupt that. Okay.
Yeah, I got, and I swear, as hokey as this is going to sound, when I was in the shower last night and the water was pouring down on me, I'm like, okay, Denise, you are like, I don't know if you've ever heard that saying, you're like you know a lot of things, you know a little about a lot. You're like a jack of all trades, but a master of none. But then when I heard master of none, I said, no, stop right there. I heard that voice, and I'm like, no, absolutely not. You would have believed that then, but you don't now. What you know is that you are meant to do more than one thing. And then I heard exactly what you said. What would you love to do? What lights you up? And you know what lights me up? My morning routine, all of it. My Reiki. I do my Reiki. My chair of joy. I love that. My daily devotionals. My God is who's at the center of everything. And just like all these little pieces of things that I do, I would love other people to know about, because that's what turned my stress into peace. Into calm.
Wow.
And that's very last thing I want to say is that I heard that I am supposed to be a guide. I want to be the caregiver that cares for the caregiver, because that's where okay, I'll be quiet now.
No, don't be quiet. I'm hearing you. What I love that I had written down guide and circled it many times, because somebody that has got all of this experience and tools in the toolbox normally is going to be that mentor, that guide, that way shower. And so when you told us that you absolutely loved your morning routine, I can think of several people that have built an entire business on leading people through their morning routine, right? So I'm wondering if that is something you've ever investigated, that you literally build a membership, mentorship type of thing where people can come in and be led through. There's an accountability part of it. There's you being access to them. There's you. This also gets them into your world, so that when you start speaking about Reiki or you start speaking about your writing, then there's an opportunity later to open up other things from this, but it comes naturally from what you're already being called to do. You've been doing it forever. I'll let Jenny jump in on this, but for one of the things that many people start their day off on the wrong foot. And we know that have been through this, that it's absolutely foundational to start your day off right. And then if you get out of habit and life throws you a curveball, you're able to go back to these tools that are now become a habit. So I'd just love to hear from Jenny to add to that. And then we'll come back to you, Denise, too.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to mute for 1 second because I have my child standing right here in front of me, like doing the wave and the
Child,
I'm just
we
going to.
love children at every age, you know.
They're dyeing their hair now, so.
Well, I have teenagers as well,
Yes.
and it's every time that thank goodness they're in school, but every time that I'm here, it's like, mom, and I'm like, really, you know, but you know, you gotta love them. So I think, like for me, I mean, I picked up on the morning routine as well, but I wrote down, because I know, Denise, you talk about rainbow joy, like rainbow, and I just went down the road of what's colorful about your day, or what is there that like brings the rainbow into your day. And it could start with your morning routine, you know, and I mean, I feel like there's a lot that you can unpack there about a rainbow. Again, is I just went down the road of a rainbow is such a simple joy that if you just find that in your day, in the morning, like, here's the rainbow for my day, right? And people can start relating to you that way. I feel like that helps already, because you're talking about people who, I mean, when you said that you were looking at, you know, caring for the caregiver, I feel like, you know, a caregiver is naturally stressed. And I have some of those people in my life right now where they're caring for their aging parents and, you know, caring for sick people. And no matter what you do, they're stressed. Like, it's just a natural reaction. And they don't even, sometimes they even look like they're not stressed, but you can tell their body is processing a whole lot. And so just those little simple hits on a daily basis of what the rainbow is in their day could help alleviate some of that, because they may not be outrightly ready for a full-on program, because it might come into their zone of, what, I've got to take more time out of my day to sit somewhere and to talk to somebody. Like, they may not be aware or ready just yet, but just giving them that, you know, simple little things each day, that brings the rainbow to their day, right? That's kind of where my mind was going. And it's you know, it's more of you feeding them and then waiting for them to say, okay, I'm ready for more. And you showing up in that way. I know you have a lot of certifications, like the Chair of Joy, the Reiki, and all of that. You know, that doesn't necessarily have to be something that you have to share like up front, but because it's more of a, how is she doing this? And it's like, well, I trained in Reiki and I trained in this, and but
Mhm.
it's more of how you're showing up, and then you have all these tools in your back pocket to be able to pull out those rings. If that makes sense.
It does. It does.
Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Before you go, I want to just clarify. You do say rainbow joy. I would love to hear in your words why those words. Why? What does that mean to you?
That means joy. It's that name actually was given to me when I was at school, and I bring the chair of joy to the kids at lunchtime. We created this process for the kids where we can do a quick chair of joy. And Jenny, while you said something quick that I could offer people, and that's a chair of joy, because that could be done. So, and I don't even have to call it that. I can just say it's a 4-step process. And this is what I did with the kids. And this is why they gave me this name. I said, listen, do you want to do something really fun? And that's a big part of what I want to offer too, is fun and play. And they're like, yeah. I said, it's only going to take literally a minute. And we were doing this in a cafeteria full of kids where it was really loud. And I said, but these steps are really, really hard. I said, do you really think you can do this? I said, there's 4 steps. And they're like, Mrs. Grasso. I said, the first one's super hard. They said, what is it? I said, sit. I said, and they're like, we're already sitting. I said, oh, well, then this one. I said, can you breathe? I like, that's really, really hard. Can you breathe? And they're like, well, of course we can breathe. I said, well, the next one, I said, just close your eyes. If you want to, you don't have to. And they're kindergartners, first grade. They're not closing their eyes. But anyway, I said, just think of something fun, anything fun. Like, let's go to a magical land and let's pretend we're riding a rainbow. That was the first thing that came to my mind. So I said, let's ride a rainbow. And then I just had them use their imagination for like literally 30 seconds. And then when the one kid came back, he said, did you ever see the movie Inside Out? And I said, at that time I had, and I'd seen bits and pieces of it. And he said, you know what? You're joy in that movie. You remind me of joy. And then somebody else said, no, she's more than that. She's rainbow joy, because we just rode a rainbow. And I got full body chills. And I said, that's it. Don't call me Mrs. Grasso anymore. From now on, call me Rainbow Joy. And that's what they did. And it was like,
That's so awesome.
I know. I thought it was so cool. You can't make it up.
Well, and so rainbow is a part of your quote unquote branding identity, right? It's not all of who you are. I mean, but the rainbow actually is a spectrum of everything. I mean, I was thinking of red as passion, but also as anger, like as, especially as you said, inside out. And so that's kind of where I was like, we're all of it all at once. So ride the rainbow, and then what brings the rainbow to your day? It's just many different things. It doesn't have to be, again, all big or all, it's just the simple joys in the day of taking time to imagine, be with a friend, share a drink, do a morning routine, to give a high five. That's where you find your rainbow. So ride it, because the rest of your day will be different and much more fun. So that's kind of what came to, sorry, Debbie, that came to mind.
No, never say sorry. I love the passion in which is happening here, because I'm seeing the connect the dots. Really, that's what we're here to do, right? Denise, we needed to hear that story from you so we understood what rainbow joy meant for you. Your audience needs to hear that, because when they hear your story, they hear the connection between the teach story or story teach tool. So when you're telling the story, what is the tool? What was the transformation from in your mind? Like, tell people the story of like, they gave me this, but I felt it deep in my soul. What was your transformation? What was their transformation? And then that's when you give them the tool, right? Like, this is how you invite them into your world, a taste of the tool. And then the call to action being, that's deeper than this. I have a membership that I do this for, we do this every day, every morning. You're invited into my world. So there's so many different ways in which I can take you down. And I can see that Jenny feels the same way. What I want to, I'll pause and I'll give you time to talk right now, because what I want to do is go a little deeper in, I'll give you the floor. Let's give it that way.
Okay, here's here's my stumbling block, where technology and I don't have a website yet. I have a Facebook account, and then I have a separate group, a private group called, because this came to me, Your Presence is Required. I just heard that that's what I need to name the group, so that's what I named the group. Is how do I deliver these messages? That's my question. And what exactly? Well, I think I know now. I would just do like the process, the chair of joy, or the 4-step process, because that's something else. I know some people would think it's all woo woo and whatever. My family does. People closest to me all think I'm nuts, but that's okay. I tell them being Delulu is a Salulu, and I love that. I heard that somewhere on YouTube and it stuck, and I like it. So anyway, joy is in all the emotions, and now with that's what I have behind me is the wheel, the emotions wheel. I mean, I have cards for whatever emotion that you feel, even those that you can't name. I can with this wheel, with this JQ emotion map. There's 80 some cards, and they tell you specifically, they give you questions to change how you feel, to bring you out of whatever negative or not joyful mood you're in. And then there's a specific chair of joy to do based on whatever emotion that you feel, which I find fascinating. And it works. It's not just, it's backed by science. I mean, people can't negate it because it's proven. Well, Debbie, you know, I mean, it's real. And I love having that tool. And I would love to, well, we're going to try to get these cards so they're in a language that children can understand.
Awesome. So,
well, it sounds like you'll be important in bringing that language, because you're such a, as a teacher and facilitator for years, it's really important. Sorry, Jenny, for interrupting.
No, that's okay. That's okay. I was just going to say, I mean, when you think of, there seems to be two sets of audiences, right? The children that you're working with about bringing the rainbow, that's easy because they're very imaginative, and you do that during your day job. There was a part of you that had shared about the caregiver. And I think that's another part of your heart that you're looking at. I wouldn't think too hard with that, because caregivers, just from the nature of caring for somebody that's sick or aging, or there's a lot of gray. So it could just be a question of what brings the rainbow in your day, or how would you ride the rainbow today, or what color are starting to speak to emotions and feelings with colors. And it doesn't have to be super hard to start, right? Because you don't need a website to reach them. Again, if I put my shoes in the caregiver space, I'm like, I'm already losing sleep. I've got to do my day job. You want me to go to a website to sign up for something?
Right.
There's no way I'm going to do that, right? And that's just kind of thinking in their shoes. Mm-hmm. What's accessible to me? I'm sitting while the person I'm caring for is asleep or eating. It's on my phone. Maybe it's a WhatsApp group. Maybe it's I don't know if people use Slack or how easy that is, but WhatsApp or a group chat. But if you want these daily inspirations or daily rainbow hits, like, just come here, free to join. Let's start seeing what we can do, and then connecting. And then now you have a small community that's chatting with you. And I think that's kind of where it's easy for you too, because you have a day job with these kids, and then you can be, okay, what did I learn from them today that I can, like, today we had a unicorn that was pink and all of this, and how does that, and some people will be in there like, this is silly, but no, that's the whole point. We need a little bit more silly in our day because of what's going on. So that was just kind of what was playing in my head, if that's supportive for you. And again, don't get stuck with the technology piece. Eventually you might need one, right? You might need a website, you might need all those things, but I feel like just the simple place, just meet your target where they're at. Let it be easy. Thank you, Carmen. That was absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's really important, the permission to let it be easy, because we can look at other people and we can think that, oh, we have to do all these things, and it paralyzes us to start. One of the things that I see you doing, and Jenny mentioned it, is this rainbow is the spectrum of all the tools that you have and all the experiences that you can create. In that, as you do it, you're actually going to find your niche, because your real niche, the people that are going to pay you the bigger dollars to do this, are the people looking for a facilitator that can come in and do this with their group, with their, maybe it's a support group that does deal with caregivers. Maybe it's for children. Maybe it's the parents of autism children. Like, there's many groups that would love to have all these tools and this spectrum of you'd be able to come in. Like, wow. What I often say to people is, what do you want to be known for? What do you want to be known for? Not what somebody else might say about you. But if you make a decision of saying, I've got all these years of teaching, I've got all these modalities, I can help all these people. I want to be known as the person that can come in and plug into everybody else's community and build from there. I want to be paid as a facilitator, as a speaker, as a workshop creator, right? I see you light up because you do not have to have all of the technology. Plugging into other people's audience is one of the best ways for you to put your flag in the sand and claim your spot. Then the language of how you do that is really important, because it's part of the branding, so that it's consistent. And they go, as a speaker, right? What do you speak on? I can speak on anything. Well, you're going to get no jobs whatsoever. You have to claim it. What is your signature thing that you facilitate and you love to share? And what are your audiences? And that routine that you're speaking about that we could do it every morning, that becomes your platform. That becomes your way of inviting people into your world, because you now trickle it out and you tease out and you're saying, I'm speaking at so-and-so. Oh, she speaks there. And hey, if you guys have any places to share with me that invite me to speak, I'd be happy to do that. You don't have to have a website with all your offers and all your confusion. You just start making a declaration of what you want to be known for and how you're choosing to show up, if that makes sense. And I hope it does. And I had muted you earlier, so I will unmute you.
Yeah, I love that. What I'm choosing to show up for and stand for.
It comes down to the what, where, when, and how. The last thing is the how. The very last thing is the how. We have to figure out all of the things that you stand for, the core values, all of the things we take you through in this Leadership Momentum Accelerator. Because as we pull out that, there's a greater sense of clarity on who you really are and who you want to reach, and honestly, who you don't want to reach, right? We're not going into that victim mentality where they need this, but they're not ready for it.
Right.
We're looking for people that are looking for solutions. And when you talk about stress, there's a million different groups of people that have a different type of stress. I think focusing that you have the tools for the stress reduction, the tools to do that, puts you in a way better positioning.
Yes.
Because then you can niche down and say, go into a caregivers group, going to a nursing station to help them, going to the children, going to the hospital, going to where people are dying. You've got all of this experience, but you didn't have to say, I do all this. First, say what you do, how you do it, as in those tools.
Right.
Then let's get you a technical website or any of that other stuff. That's so far down the road for you, in my opinion.
Me too. Good. I love that.
Well, I'm going to bring Carmen back on, if you don't mind, Carmen. I'm going to pop you back on.
Wow.
This has been,
thank you.
Yeah, no, it's been a lot of fun to do this, and an hour went by really quickly. We often think, oh, can we use a whole hour? Yeah, I could use more than this.
Yeah, we usually do 90 minutes, but this is again a tasting.
Wow.
Yeah, I just wanted to give everybody that feel of how we work together, and then what is the aha moment. So I would love to just if you would be so kind as to share, is what was your biggest aha moment or takeaway today? And I'm going to get you to start, Carmen, if you don't mind.
Sure. And I just saw my comment come up. I answered the question that you just said as what do I want to be known for? And that's what I wrote. Loving self and life. Joy matters. Limitless possibility.
And why was that an aha moment? What took you down this?
So that's not my aha moment, but the aha moment, I guess, is that in itself is the thing, right? That is what I can call people into. And it can, I think, be as simple as what Jenny said about, hey, if you want what this, if you want your life to feel more like mine looks like, just reach out. Like, it can be that simple rather than trying to develop something beforehand, just meet people where they are. And I've heard that so many times, and yet it really felt like I'm in it to help other people. In order to do that, I need to reach out to them, give them a way to contact me, tell them I'm available for them to contact me, right? Rather than it just be this outward going feed, right? Say, hey, I'm willing to talk about this. I'm willing to go on the journey with you, and just let that part be simple. And I really felt like the passion that I have about this, I kind of felt that come out while we were talking. And so that was really helpful, that I do care very deeply about this.
Yeah, it's obvious. And really, that's why I do the work that I do, and probably Jenny too. I won't speak for her, but when we see this kind of passion and you can't give it up, no matter if you wanted to, it just keeps coming back and circling on you, then let's figure it out. And I don't feel that we do that strictly from our logical brain and strategy. We tap into our heart and our truest essence and come from there, and then build the strategy out. And so that's my way of looking at it. It's been a pleasure to watch you have that aha moment and that shift, and I can't wait to see what happens. For me, the biggest takeaway for you, Carmen, is that you have it all. You just need a stronger call to action to lead people to, okay, I love Carmen. She's amazing. She shows me these pictures. She does all these things, but what can I do with her? Like, they're waiting for you to make the offer so that they can actually say, yes, let me do it with her.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, well, what you can do is buy my photos. And I was like, that's not it.
There you go.
Right.
It's only a piece of it. It's
right.
only a piece of it. I love that as we go deeper. Denise, what about you? What was an aha moment that you had, either when you were being coached or when you were watching the coaching?
It's all been aha. Just being here. I am like pinching myself. It's like, wow, I am just so grateful. I'm so thankful. And that is what I want people to know. They can feel this. Nobody's alone. I always thought that if you did it by yourself, that meant you were strong, but that only makes you weaker, because you need community. And that's what I want to be. I want to be someone's community. I want them to know they're not alone. I want them to know that they matter. And at the center of it, I want them to find their joy again, just like I did. And not by themselves. Never. We were never meant to do it alone. And that's what I want them to see, the rainbow. I want them to be the rainbow, and I want to help them find that rainbow. And I have what I need. We all do. We just have to remember.
Just remember. I love it. Jenny, I'm going to ask you too. What was your biggest takeaway from today's experience?
Well, I think you said it too, Debbie, that, we all have it all in us. And what came to mind was a video that I usually share in one of the groups that I facilitate workshops for, where the end point was the decision is step 0, but taking action is actually step 1. And that's, I think, where our courage and bravery comes. Does everything that we put out there, is it the best thing? Probably not always, all the time, but then it's the coming back and trying again and finding something. It's like, well, as you've discovered, Carmen, well, you can buy my photo. Yeah, that's not it. But it's without knowing or trying that, then you'll be like, no, I think there's something deeper. And then that's kind of how we all grow. And I love what you said, Denise, too, about that it's in community. And that's exactly what Debbie and I stand for, in terms of, you're not meant to do this alone. It's a lot faster when you've got other people that are holding you in that space and can reflect back to what you already have. And so that's pretty much what this is all about, is like it's the collaboration between all of us, right? We can help. At the same time, it's now taking this and going, okay, let me try this, and then coming back saying, that didn't work, that worked great. Like, what can I do differently? What can I do the same? And so I hope that helped answer your question too, Debbie. But that's what I love today too. Thank you so much for letting us be a part of your little journey.
Yeah, I'm going to take you guys off of screen and we'll just close this up. Thank you so much for being a part of this with us. We really appreciate it. One of the things that was my aha moment or takeaway is how much joy we get about these live facilitations. And not everybody can do this. And when it brings you joy and you're capable of it, just do more of that. The simplicity talk today really hit me home. The other part of the reminder is just, again, going back to the pillars that we talk about inside of our Leadership Momentum Accelerator. We built out that accelerator to be fast because, number one, we know women don't have a lot of time, but we also can get distracted and move on to the next thing. Mm-hmm. What we feel we bring together is the whole package deal. And if we can take you through the entire thing and keeping it fast enough pace that you have to do the implementation part of it in order to really keep up, it's 12 weeks of your life. But look at what you can accomplish. And so the vision, the visibility, the voice, all pieces of it, because we feel so strongly that in order to really shine your unique light and do the work that you're called to do, you need all of those pieces. So to me, today was absolutely wonderful. I love working with Jenny. I love watching her in action. I love learning from the questions and then how similar we are. And then I love reflecting back at the work that I can say that I'm honored to do. Yeah. It's really a pleasure. And again, as we step in, I think, Jenny, we say that all the time, that we get to do this well as well.
Yes. And I'm very grateful for you too, Debbie. I mean, I'm so glad we found each other in this space and are able to collaborate very authentically and genuinely and support people on their journey. Those that would love to be around us, you know how to find us. I think Debbie's dropped a link. Our accelerator will begin in a week or so. So if you'd love to apply, our process is apply. We'll get on a call and see if we're all a fit.
Yeah. And so what we're doing is, this is just an application form that's called a shared vision, because exactly that. We want to hear where you're at and where do you desire to go. Trust me, you have no idea how far you can go once you're in our accelerator, but we need to hear your mindset to actually see if, are we a fit? Can we help you at the stage you're at? And we're looking for leaders that really are stepping up. They have an offer, they have a community maybe. Like, I'm really just honing in on those people that really are passionate about what they're doing and they're ready to take the steps to make it to the next level, where you are considered a thought leader, a visionary, somebody that's actually doing this work. And I'm thrilled to be able to do this with Jenny. I've been throwing her email across the bottom the whole time too, as just another way. you
Yeah.
don't want to apply to be part of this next program, it's not your time, no worries. But we do want to hear from you. So reach out and just say, what was the thing that stood out to you? What can you think Jenny could help you with? It doesn't have to be a full 12-week program. It can be bits and pieces. So I'll leave it at that. Jenny, any last words?
Nope, but I think we're good. Thank you. Reach out, connect. I think that's where that's a first step. Step one is to connect in whatever way you find. And we're here. So thank you and have a great rest of your day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.